More, and this is Journey Through Miro, and these are my boys. Say hello, boys.
Hello.
Hello.
And we are missing one, unfortunately, but that's all right. This will be a pretty straightforward session. Um, but who can tell me what happened last time?
Mr. Yap.
That's Mr. No Tail to you. I'm trying to recollect. The storm ended, sort of. The creatures. We asked around to some people who knew what was going on. We went to try to find the jester and found that he was in the park in different clothes, but Yip Yap could tell by his face. And so he was a man of rhyme and riddle. Don't remember what happened after that.
Well, that's an inspiration to you.
Yeah.
I
think it ended after that, so nothing has yet happened.
And as I get my stuff like pulled up and stuff, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Dut Steven the Stole.
All by yourself.
Also known as Lone Jedi 100 on YouTube. I have a podcast, Most Excellent Theophilus. I have a book that is still in the works of figuring out if I really want to settle for self-publishing on Amazon. And yeah, I look at my tail, cupboard rogue. It's surrogate son of Balgroth the Dark. Cannot make it here.
Could not. Yes, I am at Dale Jitsu on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, in that order. It occurs to me that since Nell isn't here, she can't punish me for saying something that she doesn't want me to on stream. But I'm not going to take advantage of that right now. So I play the role of Isaiah Yeager, Magus extraordinaire. The magic expert of the party, with an impeccable track record in the research department.
That is the best comedic timing, feat of comedic timing you've ever pulled off.
You know, I do have a thing for feet.
What? Okay, in this episode, Yip Yap buys a pair of shoes.
So, yes. You two kind of just watch as the jester leaves the park, taking a turn around a corner and swinging the bell he was ringing around his wrist with a leather strip. Okay. And you can see that the sun has begun to set, stating the end of the day, the common day. And as you watch the sunset, much larger and stronger bells ring from the temple as the few others in the park begin to sort of make their ways, with the castle starting to swallow itself in its own shadows, and the trees sort of rustle with the exhausted wind from the storm. What do you want to do?
Well, looks like the jester was a bust. And I don't think anyone else was moving to interrogate him. Let's see. We had first looked at him just because he was the only royal shipman that would typically be down by typically the only royal family person that would be by the docks, and he wasn't there when the old king ran away. So I don't think we really have any leads. Yappers, any ideas? I meant the dog.
He doesn't talk.
No, that's rough.
Yeah. Yip Yap ain't very sure what to do either.
Well, let's see.
Okay. He doesn't want to be here. I'll be right back. Okay.
A bell rung is saved, a bell thrown is grave. Got to think of that riddle. I mean, I have an idea, but so the jester just gone, right?
Yeah, he walked out of the park, sort of taking
Yeah,
what you can assume to be a back road back to the castle.
sure. Well, I think. Well, Balgroth wanted to talk to the prince or something last time. Oh no, he didn't. He said he just wanted the jester. So we have no clear marching orders. I guess for now we can just go home and regroup, unless Yip Yap has any other ideas.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay. You
Yip Yap.
two.
Yip Yap just hops on a boat to Siona. Restart! I can't advance the plot here.
You two start your way down the street, heading back towards the hotel. And can you both roll a perception check for me?
I can sure try.
And I'll bring up the map.
There.
Pretty decent. May Fossil also be having an eye out?
Sure. Okay. So as you are walking, you all notice there is a cart sort of pulled off on the side of the road walkway. And hitched to it is a vezin that is kind of pawing at the ground. And it's a much smaller vezin than the ones you've previously seen, whereas those were about the size of a wagon, and this one is just about the height of a horse. And there is no one immediately around, but every once in a while it'll sort of lift up its head towards a door about a block down and starts like slowly rocking it back and forth until its eyes sort of land on you two, and more specifically Yip Yap. You can tell that it is looking right at you.
And this is a what now?
A
A
vezin.
You know the things you
The
dared
water,
to destroy
the
us
land
before?
sharks.
Oh, I thought you said a pheasant, which would also be weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know about the famous Muralian pheasants?
Yeah.
Come on, people. It's basic anthropology.
Yip Yap, do you know this one?
No. How? Don't eat me. I don't taste good.
As you kind of wave to it, acknowledging it, it's the point of its tail starts to slowly swing back and forth, and it kind of, where it was sitting, it sort of like stands up on all fours and then lowers its head to be at eye level, kind of cocking to the side. And it starts making like soft yipping noises at you in like not an aggressive sort of way. And at the very least, Isaiah and Balgroth, who is kind of walking with you guys, they only hear the sort of yipping that the creature is making. But Yip Yap,
Oh no, it's my yapping.
in your head, you hear a sort of childish voice that you could assume is coming from the Vezin, saying to you, "Sir, are you a child of scale, sir?"
Child, no, my father's name was Snip Snap Snap Neck, not Scale. Scale was my He was one of my brothers. I had a lot of them.
You have scales on you. Does that not make you
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a kobold.
Do you think you could help me?
Depends. But what do you need?
It kind of sits back down and starts pawing at the ground again before you hear the voice up in your head again. While Isaiah, you hear it making a sort of whimpering noise. When we were brought here, Mama told me that I would see my siblings again. Soon, she said, and it's been a really long time now. And I was wondering if, since you can understand us, if you could look for them for me, sir?
I'll try.
Yip. Explain.
Well, what's your name?
Oh, you can call me Tenor.
Tanner here is looking for his. Is it a boy or a girl?
What did you say?
Is this a boy or a girl that Yip is talking to? Or being talked to?
I don't know. It sounds like a young kid. You don't know Vezna anatomy that well.
Oh no.
Did you say he was looking for its kids? Because I said that it was.
No.
Okay.
Looking for his, and then I questioned myself.
He's not looking for his kids, though. He's looking for his siblings.
Right. No, I was gonna say that. Looking for his mom and folk and brothers and sisters. Probably has more brothers and more. Anyways, so maybe we can help reunite a family, I guess. What do you say?
You can these. Why not, Yip? Where would we even find this?
I don't know.
Huh.
I'm very scared we're gonna turn the corner and find one of those places where people have exotic meals.
Well, where is the family? Were they sold or ran away?
They were brought here.
Oh, okay. Then where was the other brought to or taken to? Do we have no idea?
Do you have any idea where your family was would be?
He kind of lifts his head up, sort of sniffing the air. I know that they're close. Some of them are. I can smell them.
What are those stuffs around on the streets?
It's
She said
just
it's a
assorted.
slaughterhouse, I swear.
You're kind of in you're in a more residential area with apartment buildings with small storefronts at the bottom floor, all of which are closed.
Says it smells them somewhere around here.
Well, Yip, do you? I sort of look at the shark thingy-majiggy. Why don't you ask? Well, no, I suppose not. I suppose we could ask around to see if anyone has purchased or seen another one of these creatures.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Sounds like a plan. What do you think, Bogroff? What do you think, Bogroff? Violent.
I think it sounds like a great idea.
That's a terrible impression, Isaiah.
I mean, I could do a mean impression. You do an impression then.
Yip. Stop getting hurt. I'm tired of wasting spell slots on your pitiful life.
Grunt.
Son.
Angry.
On your pitiful life, son. Ooh. Like that.
I'm going to ignore that. Yes. Well, are there people around right now, or is it just this creature?
Is just this creature on the road that you can see right now.
And it's not like tied to anything?
It's tied to the wagon. It's clear that it was being used to pull the wagon.
I see. But there's no one in the wagon, so we have to.
What kind of wagon is it?
It's like one of those I forget what they're called, but that in like cities there'll be a person on a bike who like pulls around a couple or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
He starts to paw at the ground again, and yip, you hear again. We all have these stripes on our bellies. That's how you know that we're in the same pack.
Okay.
Whoa. So
And
okay.
he kind of like lifts up on his back legs and gestures his paw at 3 tanned stripes, like tiger stripes, across a paler stomach.
Okay. This is like the kobold memory games that Ma would get one of my sisters to play with me. So there's gonna be ones that have like polka dot. I don't know what that is. Like dots. I bet we're looking for the ones that have stripes, not the ones that have triangles, but stripes.
Yes, stripes. All right. Well, we can work with this. And did you see the building that the cart's in front of is like closed?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't just go in. All right. Well, ask if it knows where the person in the cart was.
What happened to the people you were pulling?
Oh, they went inside for a bit, although they told me to stay, and that typically means that they're gonna come back at some point, and I have to stay.
Logically, yeah.
I see. Well, wait. Say. All right.
You eat fish.
Sometimes. Do you have fish?
Yip pulls out a spare fish from the multitudes he's eaten lately and just gives him one.
It opens its jaw to like start when you pull out the fish.
Yeah.
He starts to like pant like a hungry dog, and as you raise the fish up, its tongue, you have never seen a Vezin tongue before.
Try not to.
It wraps around Yip Yap's wrist and kind of pulls the fish in. Thank you, sir. I've been really hungry lately.
No problem.
How kind of you.
I'm hungry, you know? I was hungry once, and all I could do was just steal from bars. Mostly alcohol, but you know.
Well, I suppose we ought to look around. So
Oh.
Yip. Do you?
And he, Yip Yap, here's again. Sorry. Oh, one more thing, sir. Can he make sure that my brothers and sisters have been swimming more than I have? It doesn't do well when we're not in water for a long time. And could you also... I don't want them to be hurt, sir. These people, not these people, but the, there's a man who kind of tells me what to do, and then I pull other people around, but he hurts me if I don't do what he says, and I don't want my brothers and sisters to be hurt like I am, sir.
Yip Yap's gonna pour out his canteen of. Gonna use his mage hand ledgerman to grab up his canteen and just pour water down the back of this thing. It's a full canteen. He doesn't drink water, but he does have one. His former mentor made sure that he had some.
The Vezin kind of starts to roll over as best it can with the hitch. And you watch as physically its kind of soft-scaled skin becomes more vibrant where the water touches it.
Oh.
And as he's on his back as well, kind of getting the water onto him, his tail kind of bends up, and you see along the underside of his tail are deep, deep cuts.
Oh.
Some of which are fresher than others.
Oh, is this like a whip?
It looks like it could be a number of weapons have been used. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think we have a new thing on our list of things to avenge.
Yip Yap. Well, so what was Yip Yap's read on these scars?
What does it sound like?
Well, like, is it? Do you think like is he going on the assumption that it's like just random animal cruelty, or?
I wouldn't say random.
Well, as in it's not just like whipping or like punishing. Yip Yap, people have, while they not necessarily should, they have a right to treat their animals a certain way, and we can't just attack them because of it. I know what you're thinking.
Yip Yap kind of pads over and puts his hand on Isaiah's knee, looks up and goes, "Even goblins take care of their warks."
Yip Yap. This is, what's the beast called? It's not called a land shark.
Vezin.
How do you spell that?
Vezen.
VZ. This is someone's Vezin, Yip Yap.
And this is my pseudo dragon.
Yes. So I can't tell you how to treat Fasil.
If I was abusive to him, you could.
He's your familiar. I can't tell you, oh, that's too dangerous, or you shouldn't use him as a meat shield to keep you from getting damaged.
I don't. That would be really sick.
You've put him on dangerous situations before, and that's all right. It's what you have him for. And never mind that he's an ethereal familiar, and this is an actual creature. The point is, it's not.
Yeah, puts his paws over Fossil's ears.
Yip Yap. It's a beast of burden, not a person.
Yeah, and his burden is not knowing where his brothers and his mommy is.
I'm fine finding the brothers and mother, but we can't just steal them if they're someone else's, and we can't kill the owner or otherwise trouble him because you don't like how he deals with his property. It would be different if it was a person, Yip Yap.
I just had a full-on conversation with this thing. It might as well be a person.
So did he just have did he have a conversation because he can understand it, or because of like animal beast speech?
It was to Yip Yap. It was like it was talking in your head. You could akin it to telepathy.
In my mind, oceans collide.
Is my understanding that these are like fancy horses, or is it like a more self-aware creature?
So they're very intelligent creatures that exist out in the plains and the lakes and stuff. You do know that it's not uncommon for people to use Vezins to pull wagons and stuff. But you also know that Vezins are very, very temperamental, which makes using them as pullers is dangerous.
Now, when we say very intelligent, is this like dolphin or like 12-year-old?
As far as Yip Yap knows, yeah.
I would say they're on like if a dolphin could talk and had a sense of pack tactics.
Do people? Okay, is the general vibe of society that these are like people or like animals?
You know they have packs and that they have like a system.
Are they
You don't
different
know.
than wolves in his
Yes.
mind?
They are different from wolves, yes.
Like in a moral hierarchy?
Like, yes. Resins have been known to like cooperate with other species on building things and stuff.
Okay. So they're like, okay.
They're in the
Like
stone.
elephants.
They're in
You
the
say that they
stone.
have economic value. No, well, Yip Yap, don't do anything rash.
I try not to get rashes.
That is entirely false on both meanings of that word. Now, let's begin this search. Where do you recommend we start?
Ah.
I will add that the sun has fully set by now.
I say we start with a good night's sleep.
Oh, okay. Yip Yap goes over, and what's like the smallest dimension part of the Vezin?
Probably its paw.
How big around is like the ankle for his paw?
It's about the thickness of trying to think of the right word. I guess it's about as thick as Yip Yap's waist.
Yip Yap takes out 2 rat tails and makes a little friendship bracelet for him.
Oh. He kind of sniffs at the bracelet and puts his paw back down, and then kind of puts his chin on top of your head.
Oh.
It's a purring noise.
Oh.
And then steps back.
He gives scritches.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Of course. And the name's Yip Yap. Yip Yap Nortail. I will avenge you. And he
Do I
just
hear Yip Yap is speaking, or is he like thinking real hard, or is he
you
like
heard
grunting?
Yip Yap's part of the conversation.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I've been assuming. It's like, what if he's just doing this and I think he's like spazzing out? Just tripping real hard.
Yip has been yapping for 5 minutes.
What is this Yip yapping about?
Okay, bedtime. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
As you guys, this is when you guys leave.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Okay, so as you walk away, you're about 2 blocks down the street when you hear a door open. You hear like a bell rings over the opening door, and when you turn to see, you see in the kind of light of the street lamps, you can see that it's an elven couple, each with kind of a bluish hue to their skin, and they're talking and laughing with each other as they walk towards the Vezin and kind of pet the top of his head before climbing into the buggy and kind of pulling on his harness a bit to get him going. And he starts walking down the street.
We should ask him where they got it. We should ask him where they got that from.
They're making their way down the street.
That's how you're. Hey, wait. Ah! Yip Yap's gonna run after.
No, okay.
Sir! Sir! Yip Yap somehow has a slice of bread in his mouth.
I say thoughts.
Sir!
So what happens with the cart?
Um,
Or do they keep going?
So it's moving about as fast as like someone on a bike would move. You can run up to it fairly easily, and as you're kind of yapping at them, the man kind of turns around and looks over his seat. What? Do you need something?
Yeah, where do you get a steed like that?
And he kind of looks to his partner, and they both look back to you. We got it from Carol's. That's where all of these things are. Could you stop following us?
Yip Yap immediately heel turns and starts running back to Isaiah. Tomorrow we find Carol's. They have them, whatever.
We find Carol's?
Yes.
Who's Carol's?
I don't know.
Who is this Carol's?
What? Isaiah has just left after seeing Yip Yap sprint down and trot back. What happened?
They told me where they got them from and told me to stop following them.
Did you check to see if they were the ones that you wanted?
That's my boy. That's my friend.
Oh, so well, it was her, or like the one you saw before.
Huh?
There was the Vezin from yesterday.
From today.
From today.
We haven't actually gone to bed yet. We were walking away.
It's still today, yes. So basically, okay. So
I
very
think his
mixed up.
hands losing it.
Listen, I've been hitting the water very hard.
So have I.
Yes. So, well, what is Carol's? Is that a place?
I don't know.
How are you going to find this Vezin tomorrow?
I don't know.
All right, we'll go with that.
I don't know.
Do I have any sense of what Carol's might be or where Carol's might be?
Based off context alone, you could assume Carol's is a place where you can rent a wagon or a buggy to go about town.
You basically said, where can I find this thing? At the thing store. All right. I guess we'll ask tomorrow. I'm sure someone will know where it is.
Okay. So you all continue back down the street, and there's a couple trees that kind of populate the sides of the walkway here. And Isaiah notices with the backlit of the streetlights on sort of leafy, a very deep green leaves, you can see little bodies of ink clustering together on the branches, each one with a milky white eye. Not really looking at you at the moment, but some are.
These Flogants.
Huh?
Well, we're going to bed, Yip Yap.
Yeah.
And with you kind of looking at these trees, gauging how many Flogants there are, you notice in one of the trees there's a larger shadow, kind of sticking to the center of a group of Flogants, grabbing at the large branch beneath it and eating a piece of flowering fruit.
Oh. Let's see. Well, I guess I'll go over and check if it's that noteworthy.
As you get closer, you recognize the raggy cloak of your runaway Kenku. And when it notices you get close, it kind of clacks its beak at you and shuffles deeper into the leaves of the tree.
Falcor, come back.
It makes a branch shake, and a bunch of fruit almost hits your head.
Thank you, I say as I start eating it. Yip Yap, your brother is in the tree. Why can't you be more like him? He just gave me this fruit.
My brothers are dead.
Well, your new better brother, Falcor.
That is not a kobold. That is not a kobold name.
Nor is Balgroth, and yet isn't he your father?
That's different. I adopted him.
And he adopted Falcor. And frankly, Falcor's being a lot less hostile than you right now.
I'm sorry, when was the last time I robbed from you?
From me? I'm fairly certain you've tried to a number of times. I have to keep my money in an alternate dimension because of you, Yip Yap.
Sounds like a... What's a... what's a dimension?
It's a secret purse that you can't touch.
Oh. Like the sweet, sweet taste of vengeance, I will enact for Kiriko.
That's very strange, Yip Yap. Falcor, come on down.
If he tries to steal from me, I'm killing him.
No. Inappropriate.
Yes. You're inappropriate.
What does that word mean, Yip Yap? Exactly. Falcor, come down here. Come on. He's not really going to hurt you. I won't let him.
It squawks at the two of you and kind of takes off from the top of the tree and starts flying away.
Yip Yap, you're going to tear your family apart with this sort of attitude. If Balgroth weren't inside already, he would be ashamed of you. You know his eyes would just get so downcast, he'd shake his head, and he'd think, oh, I may have chosen the wrong son.
I know where you sleep.
Yes, we do we share a room?
No, you all have your own rooms.
We share a building. Yip Yap, I'm trying to improve your family's health.
Oh, you're a necromancer?
Yip Yap, this anti-adoption attitude you have is quite troubling.
Yip Yap just moonwalks inside.
And we're going to take our break there.
I'm just picturing him like hobbling back like a stool.
You just get the notification at the top of your screen. Yip Yap will remember this.
He should. He should take this lesson to heart.
Oh, I had a debate Sunday.
How'd it go?
Decent.
What was it on?
But the topic was, is baptism required for salvation?
Oh, yeah, I remember you mentioned that was coming. How did, so you say decent. What could have been less dreadful about it or more better?
You could have heard what I was arguing a little bit better. There were multiple times I had to be like, I already explained this. Like in my opening, was it in my opening statement? I explained how I do not find John 3 to be about baptism.
Sure.
And he just goes into not actually responding to it, but just reaffirming that he thinks it is about baptism, and that everyone else agreed until John Calvin apparently said it wasn't about baptism, which is weird. And then he never substantiated that claim. I would have liked him to.
Wait, he said he said John Calvin never said it wasn't about baptism.
He said John Calvin is the one who changed it,
Oh,
the
I
church
see.
understanding of the passage from being about baptism to being not. When I'm sorry, just from the flow of the passage, Jesus parallels being born of water with that which is flesh, and that which is spirit.
So
So-
you have a born of water is the amniotic fluid, semen, or that it is being born of the Spirit?
That it's referring to physical birth, like the water breaks. Like in the
Right.
Hammurabi Code, it refers to a man adopting a child as literally taking them in their water.
Gotcha. Well, anything else of note in the debate? And is it posted anywhere?
Yes, it's on my YouTube channel, under my live section. Anything else of note? I mean, it's the most respectful conversation I've had with someone who's come against the me and Kyle group. TWC.
T-dubs. So that server's kind of dead.
I mean, we're still active on TikTok.
Well, like 2 of you are active on TikTok.
No, a number of.
Isn't it like just Gatorman who does stuff on the main channel?
Well, he does a lot of it, but
Gotcha. Do you have a date set?
but like on lives, a lot of us are there. Like
Gotcha.
Christine. Now I just need to debate Kyle. Actually, one thing, if I did have a follow up with the same guy I debated, I would want it to be on Mark 16 verses 9 onward, if those are even original to the Gospel of Mark.
Oh, that's a pretty technical discussion.
That was one of the cruxes of their argument.
Yeah, that was Luther's as well. I mean, is your take, well, it doesn't appear till later, so it's not there, or is it like
In a small
even?
sense,
Do you think that if it were part of Scripture, it would be a point for baptism or regeneration?
Oh no, even then, it's just bad hermeneutics to us to see it that way, because it says it's he literally asked me this in the cross examination, and I read it from the Bible Hub Interlinear, and it's like I'm sorry, the only part of it that talks about what you need to do to not be saved is it says those not believing. It doesn't say those not believing and not baptized.
Well, you see, Stephen, you can't get baptized until you believe. So not believing
So
has
then
already
baptism doesn't
precluded
save.
baptism.
Baptism then doesn't save. Also,
Well,
truly, the
it's
crux
not
of my
baptism if you
argument,
don't believe, Stephen.
basically the crux of my argument was obviously I built on it a bunch, but it was the foundation that when Paul gives a simplified explanation of the gospel to the Corinthians, he simply goes over the fact of the death, which means the life. So the life, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That doesn't, and I even said, that also doesn't include the duty of the Christian to repent, or to do good deeds, or even to believe in the Trinity. Those are natural things that should flow from believing the gospel. But those are not themselves part of the gospel.
So what is not the gospel? Baptism?
Basically, he wants to argue it to add baptism to the gospel. Yes.
I see. Okay. I mean, baptism is definitely is the profession of faith. But yeah, it's not the good news itself.
Yeah. Oh, also speaking of the good news, I've been reading. I got Martian's version of the Bible, and I've been reading through that. And I love how at the end, so apparently there's a church. There's a Marcionite Christian church, which they should just cut out that middle part. they have a whole diatribe about how the God of the Old Testament is evil. Look at these comparisons. But you read and I don't doubt that Marcion was Gnostically similarly inclined about the God of the Old Testament. But in his version of Luke, he still leaves in a whole bunch of references to the Old Testament. Like, Jesus in Marcion's writings is still assuming the Jews to be following the Torah, or to know the Torah and the Tanakh, because the prophets are referenced. But there's literally, and I love how they use graphics too, in their personal section about it. Oh, we can't see it that well. It's a picture of the Bible, or sorry, the Old Testament, and the top caption: "Not my book, not my God."
Nice.
But,
not my book, not my God.
oh yeah, and you know how they get around when Jesus is literally called God in Romans 9?
How's that?
Well, one in Marcion's version, it's actually Romans 8. 8? And it ends at verse 4. And just goes to the next chapter, which also goes to like verse 4.
Highlighting with that black pen is very effective.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Doesn't I believe Acts refers to Christ's blood as the blood of God as well at one point?
Off the top of my head, maybe. I know Ignatius was at least once, if not twice, referred to it. He talked about very heavily about the blood. He did one time say the blood of God. I know Ignatius. No, I've been doing some fun manuscript ogling recently with everything I've been doing research wise, especially getting back into listening to James White talk about text critical stuff.
Nice.
I'm very annoyed that you can't find more manuscripts online. But hey, you got Vaticanus. You can find, you got Sinaiticus very well. You can kind of get Vaticanus, but it's a little more tricky. It doesn't have its own website. Internet Archive isn't that bad with its manuscript documenting. I've looked at. My only problem is it only has like the first and like fourth edition of Erasmus.
Interesting.
And I'd like to actually look at all of them. Oh no, wait, no, it's not that one. I think it's harder to actually look at Erasmus on Internet Archive. I was looking into Theodore Beza, who actually had several editions himself. In his first edition, in Revelation 16:5, he has it read the way every other person understood. And then you see by his later editions, he made the conjectural emendation to change it from who was and is the Holy One to who was and is to come, like Revelation 1:8 reads.
Well, c'est la vie. Hold on, Nell.
So,
The feeling.
okay. So, what?
It's flown. Anyway.
You guys start walking back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And you can see how it kind of gleams in the sort of dusky light, a very welcoming aura of comfort and rest. And your rooms have all been tended to, beds made, and stuff like that. And can you both make a perception check for me?
Oh no, my stuffed animals. Where have they gone? Not the kobold stuffies. Oh no! Maybe Fossil will see it. But does anyone notice there's a corpse in this bed?
I'm still trying to figure out your whole thing, Dale, because I don't I don't know why it's separated like that. Which one is your roll, technically?
The 19. So I have
Okay.
advantage because I have a crow also looking out for me. So
Gotcha.
I'm doing what he does with Fossil. I'm just doing it as the help roll instead of us each looking.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Isaiah, you go into your room and you notice everything's been clean. And your octopus is sleeping at the bottom of its tank. But you realize that the books on your desk have been moved around. And some left open, even though you close all your books before you leave. And the wooden book is just gone.
Oh.
And Yip Yap, you don't notice it at first, but when Fossil goes to jump onto the bed, he makes a squeaking noise and quickly shows you that one of your 3 cobalt plushies is gone.
Yip Yap stomps out of his room and goes down to the clerk.
I'm just imagining like an Invader Zim bit.
Yip
Is there-
Yap Yip Yap drags a stool from the bar area over to where the clerk is.
Okay, before we get to that, Isaiah, what do you do?
So remind me of can you say what I saw again? I'm hearing things weirdly now. I think I'm good.
Okay. So what did you hear me say? Or
I heard you say his plushie is gone.
okay. So
I think. I didn't even know he had plushies, but apparently he has kobold plushies.
in
I have 3
Isaiah's
amazing-
room, what he
Yes.
sees is that at first it looks nice. The room is made. The octopus is
Okay.
asleep at the bottom of the tank. But your books have been moved around, and some have been
Oh.
left open. And the wooden book that you found with all the odd symbols on it is just gone.
Not the Yoda.
I'm gonna cast detect magic. Do I see anything? Any trails? Anything?
Nope.
Oh dear.
And then you hear
Um,
Yip Yap stomp down the hallway.
Well, you can tell, like, for scale, he's stomping, but he's a little guy, so it's just like it's like a toddler throwing a tantrum.
So that let's see. So the bark book. Oh, yeah, did I even write down a description? No. I've got it somewhere. But okay.
Oh, that wasn't your Necronomicon. Good.
No, not the skin golem book. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the clerk.
Okay, so
And I see nothing of note with detect magic, right?
you don't feel any magic. Nope.
Yeah. I go to the clerk. Sir. It is a sir, right?
Yes, it is a very kind of ruffled-looking Limrius with feathers coming around his neck with his suit, and he has a big mustache. He kind of looks startled. Yes, you too? What's the issue?
Well, it looks like my books were ransacked and one of them was stolen. Has anyone been up there today?
Something of yours was stolen. That's not very good. Well, housekeeping does go through the building every day. I'll check to see who was cleaning. What floor are your rooms on, sirs?
Are we the second floor or third floor?
You're at the top floor.
We're on the top floor.
Okay.
As Yip Yap scoots the stool up and climbs up it, and just finishes off his thing for now, and goes, "Who came into my room and stole my plushies? Who is it? Who is the plushie thief?"
Yuri.
The man kind of has like a Studio Ghibli vibe to him as his head kind of sinks into his neck feathers as you scream at him. And he flips through like a small book on his desk, reading through names. Well, it looks like the top floor was cleaned not too long ago. not sure if that housekeeper is still here. Are you positive it could have been one of the house cleaners? You didn't...
This is the key to my room. It stays in my pocket.
Do we have locked doors?
Right next to the letter that my god wrote me in a different hotel room to tell me that he missed me.
Right. So my room was actually locked, and I definitely didn't misplace anything or leave things very, very disheveled. It looks like someone just ran through my books and took one.
Well, I will go talk to the housekeepers and see if that one is still here. I do suggest you two look again. I would hate for it to be one of our housekeepers, but it is also not uncommon, unfortunately, for people to break in here with our proximity to the pier. And with that, he kind of walks off behind a door.
Well, I am going to go back and just check to see if there's any way that, like, stuff fell or anything is, like, falling behind the desk or something, but...
Yip leaves Fossil on the stool and tells him, make sure you have a stern face on when he comes back. And he pads off to check.
Can both of you roll investigation, please?
Ooh, I actually have bonuses to this.
Hey.
Okay.
Describe what he sees first. I'll be right back.
I see everything. No.
Do you check both rooms or just yours?
Just mine.
Okay.
I'm a level with you. I'm not that worried about the plushies.
So what you find with that is you find a couple of small feathers are kind of look like they've been pushed underneath the bed. And you also see when you examine the door and try the key again, it does fit in a stranger way, as if something has messed up the lock.
Okay. So it was like picked or broken into or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's good to know. Then I'm going to go back down and wait for the innkeeper to return.
Okay. I'll wait for Steven to get back.
Oh,
And then I take Yip Yap's corpse and I bury it in a very noble way.
So you make it to the middle of the night and you awake to the feeling of a small jaw clasping around your jugular and severing it.
Not with the way your corpse went, Yip Yap.
Fossil?
Oh, please. Fossil can't attack me.
Fossil is cute enough. Whichever fiend lent him to me will more than happily send him to avenge my death.
Okay. Well, Yip Yap, what you find is you can't really find much. You move the plushies around, there isn't really anything on the bed or the floor to indicate that, well, I guess anyone's been there. However, you realize that it's colder in your room than you left it. You're not sure why exactly.
Does the window seem windowy?
Do you look at it specifically?
Yes. I look at, given that I am a rogue, I investigate for marks of fresh breaking and entering.
You can tell that, so the sliding windows don't have locks on them. Not really. They kind of clink into place when you close them, but you can open them just as easily. And it is cracked open when you had it closed when you left. Like someone tried closing it but couldn't quite get it.
How dare I be outrogued?
I will never be outrogued again.
I'm gonna have to buy some traps or make some.
Well, at least you know it probably wasn't the housekeepers.
Never know. To be a housekeeper, you have to be quite what's that word? It's like quite deciduous. No,
I feel like something racially insensitive is about to come out of your mouth, so I'm just going to say that a housekeeper wouldn't need to break a lock or go in through a window.
But they could.
But why?
What's Yip Yap for plausible deniability? I mean, you know,
If he can't think of a
with,
simple way to say it, he probably can't think of a simple way to think it.
well, you know, it's like when Kano attacked us, so I stole his gold. It made sense, and that's an excuse.
Right. Well,
Hey, yeah, this is a 6 hit.
Wait, does a 6 hit?
Yeah.
I'll give it advantage. No.
What happens?
So, Yip Yap, as you're talking with Isaiah, you hear something crack from behind you, and Isaiah, you see that a knife has been thrown at the glass door and has stuck halfway through the glass door, and you quickly see something move back up over the balcony.
I'm going in hot pursuit.
Okay.
I'm shooting my crow out, and I am. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna fly.
Okay. You just start hovering out the
window. I am Iron Man. That's right. Oh, okay. I forgot that was even my GIF. Yeah, so I'm gonna shoot out there with the crow, and we're gonna be in hot pursuit.
Okay. Yip Yap, what do you do?
Yip Yap wants to try to grab onto Isaiah's ankle.
Okay. I'll say you do for posterity.
Yip Yap, no, you're gonna throw off my flight pattern.
So Isaiah and your crow, you quickly go outside and get over top of the balcony awning, which leads to the top of the building, and you see there's not a lot of light. There's only really one of the full moons and kind of half of a second one creating light. But you see a humanoid figure booking it across the top of the building.
Dang. And he's like booking it?
He's running, yeah.
Can I get my crow near him?
Yeah.
I would like to, through my crow, cast the light spell on this person.
What part of him do you...
I guess just like his back.
Yip Yap would like to cast the light spell in his own unique way.
Bruh. First of all, you missed twice. Second of all, that's not the light spell.
Neither of those hit. But 2 fireballs very intensely go out past this person as
I did only
Isaiah's
press once. I don't know what happened.
Kind of slaps the light spell onto his back. And you still can't tell who it is, and he kind of stumbles for a second, but he keeps running despite the light spell.
Yip
Well, I'm just doing that so I can see him clearly and follow him. Yeah, I wanna fly up next to him and tell him to pull over.
Yip Yap was hanging on like R2-D2 on the.
Get off!
Isaiah, when you pull up next to him and you with the light on him, you recognize this to be that Limrius kid from Kincardine that was using the weird card deck. And he kind of swats at your face and runs the other direction.
No!
Let's see, do I have his name anywhere?
I don't know if you ever got his name.
His name was Jerks McGee. Yip Yap is gonna cast. Oh, I have no more spell slots at first level. Yip Yap will cast Magic Missile at 2nd level.
Jeez, okay.
Gosh.
Why is it not asking me how I want to do that? Whoa. Magic Missile. That means it should ask me what
Let's
level.
see, is this let's see, there's Johnny and Henry, I think, are the boys.
That's from the Crossroads Inn.
Oh, Kincardine. Oh, maybe I don't know who we're talking about here.
Why is it not? Yeah, there was a kid.
Oh, wait. Is this the people that like is this the kid, or these are the people that like had 2 cards that we returned to them?
No.
This is the kid who stole the cards. That
I
they
don't
give them
remember.
back from.
There was a kid. He was a crummy kid. I tried to discredit him and assault him multiple times because Yip Yap is like.
And then you got him arrested. And
Yeah.
Well, if he wants to be a ne'er-do-well, then there's probably only one solution.
Oh, okay. How do I cast Jim's Magic Missile? Because this thing won't let me.
He's going to take 15 force damage to the knees.
If the attack roll, so /R1d20, what's my plus? My bonus is
probably 2.
It is. Never mind, but that's not a critical fail.
Don't you get 3 rolls? Or 4? 3 or 4?
I'll just do mental math. So that's 4. Does a 14 hit?
yes.
Good. The dart does 2d4 force damage. What does it do at level 2? At higher levels, it creates 1 more dart. Never mind. Okay, that has nothing to do with damage. So /R2d4. He is hit in the back by a single dart for 4 force damage.
As the two of you fire magic missiles at this kid, you knock him flat to his face, and he kind of skids across the building for a second before, like, pushing himself up and grabbing a knife from his side.
Yip Yap grabs his shovel and goes, "Let's do this! Animal back style, adult words. Goblins, they have blades and they attack with wargs and they try to cut off our heads."
And the kid kind of zeroes in on Yip Yap and points the knife at him, like, with both hands. "You got me arrested, you scaly rat!
You stole my plushie! You non-scaly brat!"
He starts walking towards Yip Yap and Isaiah, I guess, by nature.
Are we still flying or are we stopped?
I shake Yip Yap off onto the ground. And I am floating above the fray because this is clearly beneath me.
Yip Yap stands with his shovel in one hand and his shield in the other.
Didn't you do a crime that should get you arrested?
It wasn't a crime. I was gonna return those cards. I just needed a bit of money.
Oh, I remember this kid. Yes. Okay.
And you know what they did? Because you decided to get those parrots on me?
What?
They plucked my feathers and clipped my claws. I can't fly anymore because of what you did to me!
Yip Yap, you should be ashamed of yourself for your harsh actions and beg his forgiveness.
I'm sorry, he took what from you? He's talking to Isaiah.
Who's he?
There?
He may have been the one to take my book. We'll find that out right now. But don't you see that your imbalanced response to him caused serious trouble, Yip Yap?
I have no tail. What is a haircut compared to a tail?
You
Isaiah?
have become what you hated most. Yip Yap, in his life, you're the adventurers.
Impossible. There's only one of me.
I am going to daintily but regally alight on the ground on which these two walk as I deign to commune with them. And I'm going to sort of not get too close to this guy, but say, young man, I am terribly sorry that you can no longer fly. But you don't have to go this direction in life because of it.
Also, don't
I
feathers
say,
grow?
ignoring the fact that he was already a dirty thief, but
It's like
there's always
hair,
chances for
right?
redemption.
It's like hair, right? Feathers grow back. Just takes a while.
It'll take half my life. And it hurts.
That's a very slow growth cycle. Maybe that's some Rogaine.
Tails normally grow back too, yet here we are.
No, excuse me? Have you lost a tail, Isaiah? Do humans have tails?
Hey, Yip Yap.
Yes.
Does a 21 hit?
Yes, it does.
Young blood. Young blood.
So, as you and Isaiah are kind of bickering, the kid throws the knife at Yip Yap and it lodges itself into his shoulder.
Ow! I'm keeping that! Yip Yap rips it out and puts it in the slot in his accoutrement where the third throwing dagger that he gave up used to be. Mine now. Mine.
Enough. Did you really track him down over this?
You're acting like he didn't take from you, too.
I asked the guy, did you really track him down over this?
I didn't know what else to do.
Listen, while I don't condone, I understand vengeance. But in the name of all that is moral, why did you steal from me?
Oh, there it is. Uh-huh.
Because you associate with him. And if you associate with someone, that means that you look out for them. And so I wanted to take from all of you.
Well, that is fair, and I have wondered about associating with certain people in my life. However,
He took everything from me. He took the one thing I had left. What else am I supposed to do? It ain't fair.
Well, you were a thief before, yes?
Not a real thief. I just picked some pockets and picked up coins from the fountain. I ain't old enough to work with Romster Graves. I wasn't a real thief. I wasn't a real panhandler. I just wanted money for food. And I found those cards. I was gonna give them back, but I knew that if I showed off some of them, people would give me coins, at least silver, just to see a show. I just wanted some food.
Is this boy lying?
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I want insight as well. I see. Okay, why am I double clicking? What is wrong with my stupid mouse?
Taking the 12.
No, I'll use my inspiration. I want to make it the actually decent roll for once in Yip Yap's poor life.
Okay. So you both can tell that this is real raw emotion coming from this kid.
Well, going farther down that path and even making Yip Yap suffer is not going to bring your feathers back and is not going to make your life better in the long run. There are opportunities out there for enterprising young men. You could travel with us. You could get a job. But becoming a thief, and he sort of looked at the gash in Yip Yap's shoulder, or a murderer, that's a dark road.
I wasn't gonna kill him. Just wanted to make it hurt like it hurt me.
He looks at the thing like a quarter inch from the heart. The shoulder is awful close to the heart.
Well.
Which shoulder was it?
Although you know what they say, a few inches is a world of difference. So yeah, well,
I cast fireball.
At the kid?
Well, what is your name, young man?
My name's Sven.
Fen. Well, Fen, what do you want to do with your life? Let's just say that Yip Yap were dead and out of the picture or something.
I didn't want to kill him.
Okay, well, let's say he learned his lesson. What would you have done then?
Would have gone back home and
do
wait from, I don't know.
Well, you could work for us. We'd make sure you had food.
What does working for you entail?
Not stealing from us.
Well, it does entail not stealing from us, yes. But
that's why I don't work for them.
Yeah, we have we have things that need carrying. We have watches that need doing. I need help with experiments. I'm sure Balgroth and Yip Yap have things going on as well. It's a bit of everything.
There's just a cutaway to Yip Yap with no thoughts, just his eyes slowly drifting apart.
I don't want to be your servant boy.
Well, what if you were an apprentice? Yip Yap, for all of his imbalances, is a tremendous burglar, pilferer, and all-around scallywag. Balgroth is a mighty warrior. And I am, as some have described me, the finest magus in the land.
What's a random knickknack you'd have on you?
A random knickknack?
Yeah, like in one of your pockets.
I do have some exploding caltrops.
Maybe that wouldn't explode if I threw them around.
You're not stealing my stuff.
You don't commit to the bit.
I have nothing that's not flammable upon people touching it who's not me. No. I have what do we even have? I have like stuff in my room, but I have dice.
Yip just stuff up and it's like, yeah, I'm a rogue, and he tosses up one of your dice to you.
Yes.
So I don't know what's happening.
But they don't have a clue. Who?
Okay.
Yo, I hear you.
You guys can hear me.
Now, yeah.
For shizzle.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like it fixed itself.
Okay.
You look visible today. Oh, I'll come back.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna end it.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Cool. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.